Okay. So evidently, one more minute. One more minute. One more minute. Minute. Let's see. Yeah. One minute. One. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I got to tell myself that. Welcome to the very first show for 2024. And we are Saturday morning live with Sal Santori, live at 11. And we're broadcasting today in our brand new studio over at ship number 91 at the Lebanon Navy Club. And our brand new studio is Sleepy Joe's Crack Shack. Let's hear it for Sleepy Joe's Crack Shack. I don't know. Hunter might be stopping by today. I don't know. I heard a little bit about he might want to come by and try and say Pappy. But that remains to be seen. He's welcome. We'd love to see Hunter Biden here. Um, Joe stopped by yesterday, but he couldn't quite get through the crowd. There was a Trump rally going on here yesterday, so Sleepy Joe couldn't quite make it through. But welcome to the show. And actually, this is our first show with video, and this is live. It's not recorded and then edited. We're live, and you are welcome to send comments. I can get them immediately. We're doing a live feed, real time um, here. So as you put your comments in, questions, I'll be able to see them come up right away, and I'll be glad to answer them for you. What we want to talk about today is our Veteran and Family Appreciation Tour 24. And what that is a traveling tour. Obviously, the word tour would indicate that, right? Don't mind me. Sometimes I'm just amazed by myself, the things I figure out, Yeah. I'm a genius. Uh, but what the tour is all about is visiting various venues in different parts of the state of Pennsylvania as well as the country and raising public awareness on the situations, the issues that we as veterans face coming out of the combat theater back to America and back into what we used to call the real world, or the world. You're going back to the world. And it's been quite a while for me since I've been in the military, so I'm not sure if that is actually still the term that's being used. But basically, we're talking about when our time of service is ended and we're coming back home. What happens? What's going on? What are we dealing with? What kind of obstacles are we facing? What can it lead to? How does it accumulate? And what can we do about it? So, the Veterans and Families Appreciation Tour 24 is to bring public awareness to that, what those things are, what's happening. And the more that we can get folks to understand, obviously, the better the chances are to enhance the quality of life for not only our veterans, but also the families. Um, People really don't appreciate the gravity of what families go through, and it's not really addressed that much for folks to really understand. But families go through some extreme sacrifices as well. And I want to say hello to Lord Donna Marie Capitosta. Did I get that right? I think so. Capitosto. Hey, Lord Donna Maria. How you doing? No, no. How you doing? Glad you're there. Saludate. Um, But what folks don't realize um, are the sacrifices that the families go through, and it's incredible. You know, I know I went through. I destroyed two marriages um, through my whole experience. So I know definitely it's traumatic for the spouse as well. Add children into that, and it becomes very, very hard. We come back from combat, and there is no immediate job opportunity for us. What are we going to? That doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. Um, we don't have a lot of job opportunities just waiting. So what do we do about that? Well, we need to be able to have some support so that when we do come back, things are in place, connections are ready to be made, and we can smoothly, as smooth as possible, work our way back into society, into our families, into our communities. And this all falls under the category of reintegration. We're reintegrating into the civilian world. And this can prove very difficult. One of the biggest things we lose coming back is our sense of purpose. And I venture to say, when we're in the military, our sense of purpose is a given. It's not something that we have to think about. It's not something that we need to work on necessarily. It's there. It is what it is, and it's there for the duration. Now, coming back, that all changes, obviously, and we're kind of looking at a situation where, okay, what do we do? What do we do? We want to fit back into society. We want to be able to take care of our families. Um, and now we have the challenge of being able to do that. And we're also bringing back all this stuff that has has happened to us, the trauma that we've endured, the things that we've been involved in, the things that we've needed to do. And these are all things that do not fit into the civilian world in any way, shape, or form. So we've got an automatic barrier right there to try and break through. It's like, okay, what do I do with all this stuff? And I venture to say a lot of folks, veterans, have no idea, you know, where to go with it, how to process it, or even just what's really going on with them. And I want to say hello very quickly to a really good friend of ours, Miss Farah Evers, and she is on with us saying hello. And I just want to give a shout out to Miss Farah and say hi and let everybody know if they are in need of professional grade graphics, book covers, web issues, um, film, and recording graphics. Farah Evers is the person to go to. She's got some wonderful work going on, and she's a great, great person who is able and willing to help um, really get folks from where they are to where they want to be. So look on Facebook for Miss Farah Evers, or feel free to contact me, and I'll be most happy to put you in touch. She is one of the great people in our family um, that does a lot of hard work for veterans and folks in need, which is bringing us right back to our topic of reintegration. And what do we do? We come back and all of a sudden the landscape's changed. Our family is now part of our life, we're part of theirs. And that hasn't been the case for the past uh, half a year, perhaps multiple years. And this requires a lot of effort to try and navigate and do so in somewhat of a, I don't want to say sane way, but rational way, I think would be a better way to put it. To be able to do it rationally, because it requires um, that we do find a way to do so rationally. I'm looking at more. I'm sorry. I'm looking at more messages coming through, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who is tuning in. Radio speak there. Which, by the way, I wasn't sure what to wear for this. Um, doing the radio show, it was real easy. I had, everyone told me I have this perfect face for radio, and so it was real easy to choose. Uh, like I had this brand new radio tie that I got just to wear for the show, and it was great. And now here I am, and it's like if I sound a little out of sorts, it's probably because I am. Uh, yeah, it's not every day you sit down in front of a camera and, okay, world, here we are. And now I can be seen, you can see me. And it's kind of the thing of it's no longer just the radio. Um, so hopefully I get good marks for not having worn the same tie, the same new show tie each and every week. I didn't wear that today. And I figured, as far as a shirt, I chose to put on a camouflage shirt because, if you've ever seen that commercial and they're talking about, embarrassing situations, and the big question is, did you ever just want to disappear? So I'm kind of thinking if it gets to that, I have this camouflage shirt on, and maybe I can, just disappear into my camouflage shirt. uh, Probably not, right? Not going to happen. Not today. And not, I can always tell when it's going to be a good show because the couple of hours leading up to it are nothing but uh, confrontations in the spiritual world. Like I'm just getting pounded on by the evil one and the negative spirits because there is this great show coming and they're doing everything they can to try and make sure that that does not happen. You know, um, and it's kind of cool because it lets me know that the show is going to be good. If there was no opposition leading up to the show, I think that's the time I should worry because it's going to bomb. It's not going to do well. Something's going to happen. So I really welcome the efforts on the part of the evil one and his little team of followers. And I do say little. Yeah, that's a challenge. That's a challenge, punk. You and Sleepy Joe, you're in the same boat. As a matter of fact, you know what? It is time, folks. It is time to put on. Yes. And in fact, we are. There we go. Okay. Now, we say for sure no more bullshit. No more bullshit. We're going to roar with the lions for 2024, and we're going to let Sleepy Joe and all his sheeple be entertained elsewhere by others, not us. Time to take our country back, and it is definitely high time to acknowledge the fact that there's a whole lot of fear um, in the uh, liberal world to have Donald Trump, number 45, come back into power. Um, the liberals have taken our country so far left and so far off kilter, it's not even funny. If you sit back, as I do oftentimes, and take a look at what's really going on, and I'm discovering this is not the same country that AI fought for, um, nor did anyone in the last 10 years fight for. It's within this last 10, 15 years that it's really, really headed south. And I mean that literally. I'm not actually, you know what? Maybe it's kind of figuratively too. If we look at the open border situation with Sleepy Joe turning America into Sleepy Joe's crack shack, yeah, pretty bad, pretty bad. So what we're doing in addition to our tour, we're also looking to wake America up. Shake America up. Don't be afraid. political correctness is not for conservative folks. It's a liberal term, and it's just part of the bullshit. So, as my hat says, no more bullshit. This is 2024, and it's time definitely to roar. So let's really get the momentum going, build up the power, get this train cranking, and let's stop being so nice, stop being so tolerant, stop saying, "Gee, I really don't want to hurt your feelings." You know what? I got something to tell you, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm guessing my attitude kind of suggests what the verbiage would be, and I really don't need to go there. But yeah, it is time for that, and I'm thanking some more of the folks that are on, and giving us the thumbs up that we're moving forward pretty good here. So definitely, we want to get back to what we were talking about for integration and the trauma, the PTSD, the fact that it obviously affects our veterans, and it also affects our families. So we're looking at situations that we need to be able to address entire families and really look at it from a holistic approach in that regard. We can't just fix one part because the other part is damaged, so it will remain damaged. Um, so we definitely need to take a look at how we can work with the whole family. One of the things we do through the KZARN Community and Veterans Outreach is we have a Hire Veterans First program. And what that is intended to do and is doing and working is getting veterans together with potential employers. We're not guaranteeing employment. That's not our decision to make. What we can do is bring the two together, make the meeting happen, and then let things progress as they are supposed to be. The thing of it is, we are also looking to add some training into our program. We had been looking at a restaurant environment where there was a really nice large restaurant in a neighboring town. And the situation was that it would be great to operate as a restaurant and also to uh, have training for veterans and others in the civilian world who want to learn a new skill, a new trade, a new craft, and become proficient in the culinary world. And it's a great concept, and it will still happen. Unfortunately, not with this particular location. There were some family tragedies there that uh, derailed the entire process. And our hearts definitely go out to the surviving folks in that family, but their hearts were in the right place. So that's one of the things that we're doing. And we definitely are looking to grow with community partners. Yeah, it's we can all agree that there are certain things that are, oh, that's just terrible. Yeah, well, agreeing that something is terrible does not change it. I mean, really, it does not change it. And I'm just noticing a comment um, that was sent in, and it really supports what we're talking about here. And the comment is really, really strong and basic. It says, the truth doesn't care about anyone's feelings. And, you know, cut and dry, there you have it. The truth doesn't care about anyone's feelings. So there's no need to get all wrapped up in codependency and wondering if I say something, am I responsible for your reaction to it? Well, no. Uh, at the same time, I suppose I could be a little more cerebral and choose how I deliver it if I want to be considerate. But again, that exactly what this person sent in. The truth doesn't care about anyone's feelings. Um, it means I need to let the truth be known, and if it offends folks, then so be it. It doesn't mean that I have to intentionally go out of my way to be offensive. But at the same time, I can't be responsible and sugarcoat it and decide, maybe I really shouldn't go there because it's not politically correct. It might hurt someone's feelings. It might piss somebody off. I gotta throw this in here. Since 2015, when I first started doing the Sal Santori radio show, uh, it was definitely, obviously, a conservative Republican based show uh, with me as the host. And in 2016, I was involved in some of the election campaigns and interviews and doing a lot of work to help some great candidates who succeeded, and some are still in office, reelected, which is great. They're doing a great job. The point I'm getting to is in 2016, I started getting hacked. I mean, wicked bad, like right in the middle of a show, and I'm talking radio. It was just audio, internet radio, and it was just inevitable. At some point during each and every show, the hackers were going to get there, um, and I just couldn't figure this out. Everything I did was like they'd find a way back in, and I'm not your tech guy. Okay, I'm not Joe Techie. I'm just not him. I it takes me, my learning curve in technology is like 5 times the norm probably. What what an educated person can figure out uh, in an hour and a half hour, what have you. 3 days later, I'm like, gee, I think I got it. I think I figured this out. Um, so believe me when I tell you, it was difficult. Um, Well, so finally, I had one of the fellas running for office contact me and tell me they had done some forensic work on their own and discovered who was hacking me, and it definitely came from the liberal camp. I'm not even going to throw names in there, but the point I'm making is it didn't deter me. It didn't cause me to decide, gee, I'm scared. Yeah, nah, nah, wrong guy for that too. Uh, um, it didn't cause me to decide to compromise my principles or compromise the way I'm delivering the truth as I see it. And I am always willing and happy to agree to disagree. We can do that. Um, as long as you're able to do the same thing. And by the end of our conversation, we've both learned something, not converted one another to either side, but we've learned something and we're able to appreciate a little more. And that's cool. That's very cool. Uh, but there's no way in God's green earth that they were going to get me to tone it down, water it down, sugarcoat it, switch sides. No. Um, so here we are now again, and I'm just waiting. I'm anticipating their shit to start again. Um, so I will continue to wear my nice red Donald Trump no more bullshit 2024 hat, and just let you know, let's do this. Let's do this. Um, let's do this. Yeah. I mean, here we are. We're in. Um, let's go Biden's brand new studio right here, and one of the other studios next door is Sleepy Joe's Crack Shack. So we're right in the middle of Happysville here, not Hootersville, but Happysville. So that in itself says, yeah, we're open, we're ready for battle. Um, always, always. Yeah, suit up, show up, and let's do this. I was wondering. Okay, yeah, I see your message. I see your message. Thank you. Thank you. More about the Veterans and Family Appreciation Tour 24. You got it. You got it. In fact, I have some media advisories and some press releases. Um, what I want to do is give some attention to a local um, media advisory, and that's for the Lebanon VA Medical Center. And one of the incredible things about the Lebanon VA Medical Center is they are constantly expanding, constantly building. And what's coming up on Wednesday, January 10th at 1 p.m., there is a ribbon cutting ceremony for a new primary care facility, which is fantastic. And that is adjoining what is known as Building 17, not Area 51. Uh, Even though sometimes you get out there and it can seem like that. But no, we're talking about Building 17. And the Lebanon VA is just monstrous, and it can really be overwhelming and intimidating. But if all else fails, just simply find yourself to the main entrance and go inside. There are plenty of folks there who are will notice you coming in and be ready to ask and say, gee, how can we help you? Can we help you find where it is you need to go? And there you go. They will make sure you are not lost and will get you where you need to be. So, again, the ribbon cutting ceremony for the brand new primary care facility at Building 17. The physical address is 1700 South Lincoln Avenue in Lebanon, PA, 17042. And I want to get on to another uh, press release. And this is an advisory from one of our great congressmen and strong advocate for veterans and families. And this is Representative Dan Muser, U.S. Congressman, and is representative of the Ninth District here in Pennsylvania. And he was part of the coalition that went down to visit the southern border and put eyeballs on exactly what's going on down there firsthand. And we will be visiting with Congressman Muser on January 20th. Did I get stuck there for a second? They tell me old age is not contagious. Well, I'll tell you what, I think I got that from somewhere. But if I didn't laugh at myself, because I can tell people, it's okay to laugh with me, but not at me. But when I'm laughing at me, you can't help but laugh at me too, and that's okay. That's okay, unless, all right, I will let it go. But getting back to Congressman Dan Muser, who is definitely a rock for veterans and families and communities. He'll be visiting with us live on the show here at, I don't want to say Sleepy Joe's Crack Shack, but maybe the Let's Go Biden studio will be in use that day. And he'll be visiting with us live. And that is going to be the whole day there is going to be spent here at the Ship 91 at the Lebanon Navy Club, 1501 Lehman Street in Lebanon, PA. What's happening is from 11 to noon, we'll be doing the show live. And immediately after the show will be lunch. And this is supported and organized initially through Dan, Congressman Muser. We've been in contact um, for several years. And one of the things he was very gracious and honorable to do, and that is to put together this lunch, this very first um, event for the Veterans and Family Appreciation Tour. And it is, like I said, it's being held here at the Ship 91. And immediately after the show, after the live show, Congressman Muser will be here to visit with folks. Um, and he and his team, his staff, are bringing lapel pins, which are made up of two flags. One is the American flag, and the other is the state of Pennsylvania flag. And his purpose is to shake hands with and look every one of our veterans and family members that are here in the eye and say thank you for your service and thank you for your sacrifice. Yeah. Very important to Congressman Muser, and I'm glad to be able to be a part of helping to bring this to fruition. During this, there will be a nice lunch. It's a totally gratis day. It's a free day. There are no tickets for sale. Excuse me, just a second. There are no tickets for sale. Um, and the folks here at Ship 91, I've been visiting with them, and their hearts are just so great. You know, when it comes to how can they help, what can we do? Is their concern and their number one question. What can we do? How can we help? And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Um, so I've met with their chef here several times, and followed his suggestions, and we talked about a menu. The lunch is going to be awesome. There'll be turkey, there'll be ham, various cheeses, cold cuts to make sandwiches or platters. Um, and just a really nice lunch. She's going to make a soup from scratch and salad. So we'll have soup, salad, and sandwiches. Coffee. The bar is also part of the complex here. Um, so for those wishing to have an adult beverage, let's say the bar will be open, and that is something that you can navigate on your own, as well as don't let me be remiss here and lead you astray. Yes, you will have to pay for your own drinks. if it's if it's coffee or mineral water, spring water, um, that is covered. That is part of the day's event. Um, but as far as other beverages, you will be required to cover that yourself. So we're into lunch, and as the lunch is going through, rather, there will be a meet and greet where Dan will be, and Congressman Muser, rather, um, will be available for questions, concerns, ideas. Um, just he's here to be, a regular guy. Let's visit with him. And immediately after the presentation, rather, of the lapel pins, we will have a presentation of information uh, regarding PTSD and veterans and other folks that are affected by trauma, inflicted by trauma. It's not something that you just develop a case of, go to the doctor, and it's like, okay, I'm taking steroids for my trauma. No. Um, so it is a process, which is kind of what we really want to bring out, is to let folks know that you know there's a process at work here. It's not a matter of you know we go do our thing, incur traumatic events, um, multiples, and come back, and all of a sudden, we're just we're just going to get this trauma magically fixed, and we're on our way. No, it doesn't work like that. What happens is the trauma brings its own set of circumstances, its own damage. Okay, and the damage varies, and no one's immune from it. No one is immune from it. So when we take a look at it, we realize we're talking about a process here. We want to look at, you know, factors. What are the factors, the recognizable and identifiable factors that say that there's a process going on here, and it's progressive, and it gets worse. By progressive, it may indicate that it does get worse, but I need to definitely hammer home the fact that it gets worse. It does not progressively, uh, gradually worsen. It gets worse. What happens? We come back and we're looking at our sense of purpose all of a sudden again needing to be redefined. And during the time of having to redefine it, there are many things going on. There's a lot at work here. Um, a lot of things that happen, from feeling useless, from feeling unimportant, insignificant, um, ineffective, and depending on what else is going on in the family environment, there can be a lot of negative happening there too. So we've got all that to deal with, as well as trying to figure out, okay, how do we reestablish our sense of purpose? How do we reinvent the wheel? How do we get ourselves motivated? Um, what's going to swing the pendulum to get us moving in the right direction and not become eaten up by all the negative, um, from the inability to reintegrate quickly. All right. We come back, we have our loss of sense of purpose. We have all the emotions and feelings going on that begin to fester with that. We also have the need to find employment. What are we going to do? How are we going to take care of our families? How are we going to support our families? How are we going to take care of ourselves? And as I mentioned earlier, it's not a situation where we come back to a ready job market, for combat skills. It's not there. So what do we do? Well, we definitely need to, as a society, we definitely need to realize that this is a huge issue and become proactive. And I mentioned synergy a lot in pretty much everything I'm talking about and doing, when I visit various places. And basically, we all understand the meaning of synergy, but I'm talking about how do we take one plus one and turn it into five and really make things happen. Uh, we have veterans needing employment. We have employers wishing to grow and to do that, hire folks, hire staff. And we need to take those components and turn them into five, you know, something huge. And that takes community partners. That takes all of us. So we definitely want to get together, and we want to explore ways to bring our veterans to the table, to the interview process. We also need to understand that there is a learning curve, and hopefully it's one that's way shorter than mine. you know, um, yeah, you look at Sal and you say, well, gee, hey, Sal, um, we're going to give you this new job, and we know we're going to have to train you for it. And then, what a lot of times is not realized is they're going to go broke with my learning curve trying to train me how to do it. So we definitely want to work with some folks and make sure that their learning curve is way shorter than mine. We want this to be a positive experience for everybody, a win-win. Um, so we definitely want to be aware that there's a training period, and there's growth. And again, that in itself is a process. Far be it from me to say, hey, you're going to go out and tomorrow, the very first interview you have, the first human relations folks that you speak with, that's going to click. That's going to be the ticket. Not going to happen. Uh, in I'm going to have to say in the most likelihood is that is not going to happen. It will. It can. Of course, everything has an exception to that, to a rule. Um, but we want to be prepared to deal with the process there as well. Be prepared for rejection, and I really feel some kind of way about having to say that because we're already dealing with a whole lot of negative emotion, negative self talk, negative feelings about our sense of purpose, about what's going on, about our inability to just jump off the plane and we're taking off at 100 miles an hour. There's a lot in there. But believe me, it's doable. It is doable. Um, the old adage, Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, no, but when they hired me, it got built the next day. Okay. So, yeah, everything is doable. Uh, it's all doable. We can do it. We can do it. And I would strongly suggest reaching out. Um, Feel free to contact me. You can email me at sal@wmrcstudios.com and just say, hey, caught the show. A friend of mine told me about, uh, I just got sidetracked. I apologize. The messages are coming in, and I'm so not used to having this part of the screen available. So, hey, um, work with me here. Um, the YouTube channel, in addition to contacting me through email, you can visit our YouTube channel, and there's a lot of information on there from previous shows. Uh, the press conference we did at the Pennsylvania Capitol in the Rotunda back in June, that was covered live. And the YouTube channel is obviously youtube.com/at Sal Santori 2880. Again, that's youtube.com/at Sal Santori 2880. And that will bring you to our channel. And yeah, you're welcome to see what's on there. Send, you know, uh, click to follow and stick with us there. Thank you for the comments and the messages. Um, so anyway, back to we're talking about a process, and we want to be careful about our expectations um, for fast and immediate results. We don't want to set ourselves up to have a little more bump in the noggin, I guess you could say. So we want to be aware that it's a process, and we don't want to navigate that process alone. Let's find some resources. Let's find some support folks. Uh, let's find the assistant gunners and bring them in to help us uh, wage this war and fight these battles. Aside from the employment, there are also a lot of medical issues going on. Um, there is no one that I've ever met uh, who has left the military without event. We're affected. Each and every one of us is affected. Some far greater than others, but the point being, all veterans have an effect from having been in the military. Just a reality. Uh, so that's another thing that we want to take into consideration, and we want to reach out to our local VA clinics, uh, medical centers, whatever is in your area that you are able to reach out to. And that does not preclude the VFWs, the Legions, the Navy clubs, because they all have service officers in those clubs that can help us get the process started. Well, this is all overwhelming. I have no clue where to start. You know, and that in itself can be problematic because it can cause someone to not get started. It can delay the start of it, which opens the door to worsening of all the negative. So feel free to reach out to your local VFW, your local Legion, local Navy club, um, and one of the things that I do need to point out, and this is especially um, in more of our rural areas, the the sparseness of medical facilities can present itself as an issue. That's another given, another fact that it just is, but it doesn't. It cannot. We cannot allow it to be a stopping point. It can be a speed bump for sure, okay, and that's fine. But it's never going to be a stopping point. There are ways around it. Um, we can definitely reach out and find folks, organizations. Disabled Veterans of America is an organization that we can reach out uh, to assist with transportation. Uh, we're in a rural area, and the closest VA is 30 miles away, 40 miles away. Uh, there is no bus service because we're in a rural area, and our vehicle is not running. And because I'm not yet working, I'm being very, very, very cautious about the money that I'm spending. So, getting the vehicle fixed is going to have to wait a little bit. And in the meantime, if I don't find some way to begin growing in this healing process, in this growth, positive growth, um, these things are going to get further and further and further away. Uh, and the further away they get, the less likelihood happens, the less likelihood exists uh, for positive growth, for a reversal of the negative trend. So we definitely do not want to allow anything to stop us. Um, and I cannot emphasize this strongly enough. I am a resource. Okay, I don't care who you are. Sounds like the Jeff Foxworthy and what's his name, dude? I don't care who you are. That there's funny. Well, this here ain't funny. All right. At the same time, no, I don't care who you are. I'm a resource, uh, and I'm only ever going to say this once in my lifetime. Even if you are a diehard, I love Sleepy Joe. Let's go Biden, and I'll vote for him again. Still reach out to me. I may hope that over the course of our interactions, you'll see the light. But let nothing stop you. If I am the only resource you're able to find, great. Let's start there. Email me. Get a hold of me on Facebook. My phone number is 717-455-7086. Again, that's 717-455-7086. And again, I don't care who you are. If you need, call me. Call me. And don't let the hour of the day, the lateness of the day, the early of the morning be a consideration. Call me. We will fight together. We will definitely fight together. Um, the worst thing anybody can do is nothing. Um, the worst thing anybody can do is nothing. Um, if nothing else I was given a piece of advice a long, long time ago, um, and it went like this. Put your blinders on and go to work. Now, granted, it just sounds so simple, and it's like, who was that with the rose-colored glasses that said that? Um, and that's an opinion, yes. However, it works. It works. Like I said, no one's immune. I'm certainly not immune, and I get in my shit just like anybody else. And sometimes the only thing that I'm able to do at that moment is that exact thing. Put on my blinders and go. Just put on my blinders and go and move forward. Do the next thing that I can do. And it has yet to fail me. Yeah. Obviously, there's no cure. We're not talking about a cure. We're talking about treatment. We're talking about progress. We're talking about enhancing the quality of life. And if, as someone once said to me, if I can do only 1% better today than I was yesterday, I'm moving in the right direction. Give me 100 days, and guess what? 100% change. Okay. Um, so yeah, absolutely. If it turns out that you know for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter, but if it turns out that I am a resource for you, reach out. Definitely reach out. Um, there are some other things going on. I want to talk a little bit about the Navy Club because the VFWs, the Legions, the Navy Clubs are all resources, as we mentioned earlier. And this Navy Club, the Ship 91 here in Lebanon, is a pretty happening, pretty great place. Um, I took some notes visiting with their chef Dan, and this there are some definitely good things happening here at Ship 91. And again, it's located at 1501 Lehman Street in Lebanon. They're planning a Super Bowl party that's coming up, a car show in June, obviously Father's Day, which is also in June. And by the way, I'm going to share this with everyone. I got the best Father's Day gift and birthday gift I could ever imagine. My son was born June 21st, and my birthday is June 20th. So not only was he the most awesome gift like anyone could ever imagine, he robbed me of 2 days of presents. And someday, son, you owe daddy. You need to square up on that, brother. But they also have a Mother's Day event planned, Valentine's Day, and weekend and daily kitchen specials. The kitchen's open from 4 to 8, 7 days a week. I'm going to say, if not, I could be wrong. Um, maybe I have a twinge of Joe Biden going on in me just now, and I just felt like lying to the American people. You know, imagine that. Never happened, right? Um, so you can also follow the Ship 91 right on Facebook. Excuse me, just a second. Thank you. Uh, Wintertime in the north kills me because of the dry air of the heat. I have to actually carry around some kind of humidifier. Um, it just like just one of them things makes me want to move back down south, go back to the Southland, go on home. Yeah, big time. Um, but anyway, you can find Ship 91 on Facebook, like them, and contact Dan, who is their chef. through Facebook at on yeah, on Facebook at the Navy Club. Um, and as I said, this is really quite an operation. They do a lot for veterans, and obviously way more than just Navy veterans. Uh, as an Army veteran, my membership is welcome here, but because I do not have Navy affiliation, I did not serve in the Navy. Uh, I'm eligible as a social member, which is fine. You know, everything that this club and these people are about tells me I'm in the right place, and we don't need to be politically correct. It's just fine for me to be a social member. So there. Uh, so definitely come on out. The food here is great. Um, and they have an extensive menu. I was going to say memory, but there you go. You can obviously see mine's not that extensive. But their menu is fantastic here. And we are getting down towards the end of this show. And this is a milestone show. This is huge. Um, this is a huge show. It's been a long time in the making. There have been a lot of folks saying, "Hey, what are we going to do about video? Let's up the ante. Let's get into video." And I'm the type of person who I like to understand things. I need to know the why to be able to be able to grasp the how. Once I understand the why, the how is easy. Um, but I like to know why for myself because I need to be able to fix something if it goes wrong. I don't want to be at the mercy of anyone else, and that's just how I am. That ain't politically correct, and you know what? That's your right too. Um, but I'll never be held hostage by IT because I can't fix something myself. So by having that, you know what? I'm not gonna kid you, man. I just totally lost my thought. I just totally lost my thought. Ah, yes. Okay. A little light went back on. Um, see, being live now, I can't edit that out. You guys are stuck with the real me as I am, and not how as I would like you to see me, which would be politically correct, probably, right? But now talking about bringing the video online was something that was requested, and it took some effort, but I finally was able to master it, bring the two together. And another thing that we can do is I can set up destinations to where only the audio will go out for radio stations, terrestrial radio stations, to be able to receive my signal, our signal from the encoder, and run it right in through their radio station on their live talk show. Uh, and that's obviously nationwide. And we've done that before, but this is a whole new protocol going on here. So I just thought I would mention that and tell you all that this has been like one fantastic milestone. Uh, and thank you for being part of this show. Thank you, everyone, for your messages and letting us know that, you know, we're saying things that people need to hear, things that are very important, and things that people want to hear. Uh, yeah, and in their very real context. What is said is what is meant. Not you don't have to peel it to get to the meaning. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here and making history with this very first show and this very first part of our Veterans and Family Appreciation Tour for 2024. This is Sal Santori, and until next Saturday, have a great day, great week. Excuse me. Another part of Joe Biden there just ran out my nose. uh, okay, I know I'm going to get some hate mail for that one. That's okay. But as always, please find someone to help.